And then after Cleveland, it was Chicago. You said?
Yep, got traded for Ben Wallace.
Okay.
Ben Wallace. That's how Ben Wallace got to Cleveland, and
How long were you in Chicago?
I was in Chicago for 2 years.
Okay.
Yep.
Who was on that Chicago team?
Me, Joe Kim Noah, Tyrus Thomas, Ben Gordon, Luau Dang.
That was
Kurt
the Baby
Heinrich,
Bulls.
Baby Bulls.
Back with Kirk Heinrich. Yeah.
Andres Nocioni.
Yeah.
We had a squad.
Ben Gordon was killing.
Killer. We had a squad. He come off the bench, he 35.
Yeah.
He played like Kimba off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was a short stint. Derrick Rose, I had him. We got the #1 pick, so I got to have. We call him Pooh. I had Pooh for 1 year, his rookie year. Saw the greatness in him. So if you think about it, by the time
you played with Bron,
I played like 6 or 7 #1 picks.
So prime T Mac, prime LeBron, and prime D Rose.
Yep. And then I mean, if you want to talk back to, I mean, like Pau Gasol was different.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard was the #1 pick, but I didn't have a chance to play him. But we were on the same team.
Mm.
Then I go to after Chicago, I went to San Antonio. Got to play with Tim Duncan, the #1 pick. Then after San Antonio, I went to Dallas. Got to play with Dirk.
Yeah, you done.
Jason Terry, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Jason Kidd. Play with Jason Kidd. After then, in my stop in Dallas, I went to the Clippers. Blake Griffin's rookie year, he was hurt. #1 pick again. After the Clippers, I signed a 5-year deal with Milwaukee. So after all of those stops, all of those teams, I'm 29 years old, and I signed a 5-year deal in Milwaukee. And I was killing when I got the Clippers, so I hit free agency. I actually agreed to terms before free agency. Like, it was like, Milwaukee wants you. I was like, how much they talking? I was like, all right, I'm signing there. So right in that free agency that year, in 2009, 2010 free agency, I think, I was the first person to agree to terms right out the gate of free agency because I was done messing around.
This is your first huge payday.
The biggest one, but it came at the dopest time because I mean I was still making good money, like mid-level $6 million a year up until that point, and then that was a 5-year, $35 million deal. So it was another on the back end to where I'm getting paid till I'm 34 years old. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then on the back end of that, finished my career out 3 years with the Wizards and made some bread too. So
first thing you bought when you got that, when you signed that Milwaukee one?
Nothing.
Really?
I got a pickup truck because I knew it was gonna be snowing. I just got ready for the grind. I was still single, you know. Actually, I just met my wife, so we were still dating at the time, no kids. So I was still wiggling like I was. It was easy for me to move, and I didn't have to buy anything because I had everything already. That Milwaukee check was like, I'll see you later. Put that up.
Okay. Well, when you first got to the league, you buy anything stupid?
I mean, I was broke, bro. So I mean, stupid to me. Buying stupid stuff is like, what's stupid? Because I mean, like, no. Because I came in from a broke family. Like we were very poor, and so I had to buy homes, vehicles, get people set up with health insurance. You know what I mean? Pay insurance on top of all these assets I'm having to buy. Where maybe some guys, like the Michael Dunleavys, who had parents that already played in this league, probably was still on allowance.
Yeah, right.
Could keep his whole check to himself. So it was a different type of rookie deal for me versus a guy that came from a home where their parents worked and they already had homes.
Right.
I had to make sure everybody was taken care of, including my aunts and my uncles in certain degrees and aspects. And you want to kind of be Jesus to your whole family because you think that's the right thing to do. Because you hear all the time as a young guy, especially, we hear the stories of people turning their back on their family. And I didn't want to be that guy. So I think I was over generous at first with my family. But I would never take that back because now that I look at it, they could never say I didn't try. You know, so I had a different type of overhead coming in. And plus, I want to take care of myself. So I had, my rookie year, I had a Range Rover, an Escalade, a CL55 Mercedes. I had 2 homes, one in Memphis that I just got traded from. I bought a home in Memphis and got traded and went to Orlando, bought another house. But it was frugal.
How long did you hold on to the house in Memphis?
How long I was there? 3 months.
Oh, so you got
yeah. It was like a $480,000 house, $500,000 house at the time. Got it off though. I was able to get it off, and then bought a home in Orlando and then making money on that home in Orlando. So at that time, you could make kind of money off real estate.
Right.
It wasn't like now. And I had cars. I had all the jewelry. I was probably one of the guys that I had to look like I was spending a lot of money.
Okay.
I had that look. But then again, it was a part of me that was also smart. And I think that's my mom's side because she worked in the bank to where I also had my shit organized.
Yeah.
Like I was spending, but I knew exactly where I was at. You know what I mean? And then it wasn't until probably we did a projection, maybe my 6th or 7th year in the NBA. They was like, if you keep spending at this rate, say your last year is this year, 5 years after that year, you'll be broke if you keep spending at this burn rate. And that's when it hit me. I was like, okay, let me get this shit together. And I was glad I got to get it together at 25, 26 years old. So when I retired at 35, 34, shit, I had a 9-year head start on just, like I said, you said, what do you do with that last one? I said, I put that thing up. So I was always that kid that I hang with some killers and dope dealers and street dudes, good dudes, but I always make the right decisions and choices once it got to that point. You know what I mean? Yeah, I might be one of the class clowns, but I got an A in the class.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we all spending money. Yeah, we buying bottles, but you ain't got your money no more. I still do.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So I always was that type of kid, organized and making sure, you know, I probably looked like one of those guys, but I really wasn't, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's awesome. That just your career, when you look at it, is interesting in terms of like you drafted very high, played on so many different teams. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's like you be like, well, journeyman, not journeyman, bust, no, wasn't a bust, all star, didn't, you know? So it's like you just like you're like Drew. You just like you really are Drew. You know what I mean? Like
because the path, a lot of dudes could have fell off.
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
And then a lot of people laugh at, damn, you played with 10 teams, but you know how many motherfuckers I know. We just named them. Yeah. I played with 30 Hall of Famers.
Like you started in an NBA Finals. I
started all the way into my 10th year in the league.
Yeah, no, but you know how many people played and never stepped foot in the NBA Finals? Yeah. You know how many guys that their only time in the finals, you know, like a guy like Mitch Richmond. Yeah. Like I was in the finals, like, cut it out, dude. You was on the Lakers at the end. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like no, you started in an NBA Finals. Yeah. Like you started as a starter on that team. You were good enough to be a starter on a team that was in the NBA Finals and went to war against Tim Duncan. Yeah. Went to war against Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace and them Pistons teams, and you know what I mean? Like, no, you had a hell of a career. Like you said, you started for all of that. Yeah. You started on the East Coast, West Coast, middle of the country, and you played along.
I played 5 positions. Mark, let's think about it. I got drafted as a small forward, playing small forward. Started as a small forward, then started as a power forward majority of my career. Then started at center when it got to a certain point. Then backup center, then stretch forward, and I finished my my career as a clapping 5.
Hey, that's the best one though.
Hey, I let the league get claps per possession.
right here with the Wizards, right?
On the bench.
But you were out the league and then stole another 3 years though.
Yes, yeah. So that story came when Milwaukee, they used the amnesty clause on me. So what was funny, that summer all those guys that signed, maybe about 15 dudes that signed deals that year, they had put an amnesty.
That was the first year of the amnesty. Right?
Yeah, in the CBA, which no longer exists anymore. They used to call it a stretch provision now. But
the teams were getting beat up on them dumb contracts.
Yeah, they were getting beat up, and then plus they were like, they started getting overloaded because you sign a guy to this deal, and it's crazy. It'd be another guy on your team that play the same position as him, or a young guy that's up, and you got to make a decision quicker than you used to have.
Right.
So, and I think that's where them 6 and 5 year deals start turning like 4-year deals, so you can make these quick decisions. And when they told me you could be up for amnesty, and I get all my bread, and I get to be an unrestricted free agent, I was all for it, but I lost my bird rights. And so the bird rights, you want to have your bird rights, and that's what every player has once you're drafted. And the only way you lose those is if you're waived or bought out, or something like that happens to where you cannot have your bird rights. And a lot of teams don't want to sign guys with bird rights because if you don't have your bird rights, they can't. Your money counts even double over the cap. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So people don't know the bird rights is that allows a team to sign you with going over the cap.
Exactly. And so I didn't have that. So I hit free agency now like slim pickings without my bird rights. And I was still getting paid. So I knew for at least 3 more years I was getting a check. So that even gave me time to even concentrate on just not on my business, but my education. I was still taking classes to finish up my degree. And it gave me a time that my son was just born, to being a family man. It was like, it's funny how God does things in certain periods of your life where you look back at it and be like, damn, I thought it was a shitty situation, but it was actually the best situation for me.
When it happened though, you're like, oh, hold on, how am I out the NBA?
No, I wanted to get amnesty, so I could move on, so I could move on.
But you thought it was going to be.
But then I thought it was going to be a quick transition to another team.
Right, and then
so where I'm looking at November, I'm not on the roster.
Right.
Christmas time,
right.
I'm opening presents with my son. I'm like, Valentine's Day, we in Jamaica with wifey. Like, I'm not.
Are you staying in shape the whole time, or?
Yes. Okay. So I'm working out. Had offers to go overseas and China, but I was like, nah, I'm getting paid still at the league. It's kind of like I don't want to go jump for that bag right now. And this is how I got back in the league. Tommy Shepard, I text him, who's now the interim GM for the Washington Wizards right now. Tommy Shepard, he says, no, I actually tell him, hey, can I shoot? I know the team is out of town right now. Can I shoot and use the practice facilities, get some shots up? He said, yeah, they'll be gone for 2 days. Meet me in the underground parking tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and I'll let you in the gym. I was like, it'll be me and my trainer. He's like, bet. So I get there. They take me to a locker room. I had gear to work out in. He set everything up for me. He basically walked me to the gym and said, the gym is all yours. I got up shots, and just like that damn Golden State workout my rookie year, I fucking shot the leather off it, but nobody was watching. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was in the gym. At least I thought. Came back the next day, did another workout. Looked like I was in shape, passed the look test. Shot the leather off there again. Get a call from Tommy Shepard, said, damn, you had some good workouts down there. I was like, how did you know? He said, oh, we got cameras that roll 24 hours, and we Ernie ended up watching the film, and he was impressed. He didn't know you could shoot the.
So he had no idea.
I didn't know. I was working out, not knowing they were really watching. And Nene, by the grace of God, Nene, a dude that I had battles with. We played the same position. We wanted to kill each other. His knee, he hurts his knee, sprains his knee in Cleveland on that road trip. I'm in Orlando now after that workout. Tommy Shepard, my phone rings. I'm actually watching the DC game when it happens. My phone rings. Tommy asked me, where am I? And I simply responded, where you need me to be. He said, come in, we sign you to a 10-day. Nene just went down. Come take your physical. So I took a physical the next day, signed my 10-day contract. Then I was back in the league, bro. I signed a 10-day, a second 10-day to the rest of that season to sign a 1-year deal with the Wizards. And then after that season, sign a 2-year deal with the Wizards.
That's crazy.
That's crazy because nobody ever done that. I don't think nobody's ever signed a 10-day contract and turned that shit into 3 years. I don't think anybody's done that.
That's crazy, and that's how you finish. And then that's another name we can add. That's Prime John Wall. Then
Prime John Wall, another number one pick.
It sounds like signing you was a good look because there's a number one pick coming around the corner. As soon as you sign Drew Gooden, there's a number one pick in your real near future.
But winning is what helped my situation here because if you guys don't remember that first year I signed my 10-day with the Wizards, I was like a Jeremy Lin story around here of helping us get to the playoffs.
I remember. But I also remember it was like out the blue you were shooting threes.
Exactly. And I always could do that. See, that's what's crazy about this league. I could always shoot threes. I could shoot threes always since I was a kid.
I remember that watching one of these games and they had this crazy story that it was like you had in that playoff series, the Wizards made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
That you had taken more threes like in that like 1 week than you
my
had like in your whole
career.
career.
Yes,
it was something
real.
ridiculous. Like like Drew Gooden coming into this game had made like 5 threes in his career, and then he's like made 6, and in 1 week or something.
The most
like
threes
that.
I made before my Washington season, probably any season of my career, was with the Memphis Grizzlies, and that my rookie season, that probably was the season I made the most threes. If not, probably a Milwaukee season because I started shooting the 3 in Milwaukee, and then people kind of forgot about that because I was out the league for that year, and that's all I kept hearing is, oh, he's a traditional power forward. Yeah. We need a stretch forward. I was like, what the fuck is that? Just shoot threes now? I'm already shooting at 17 feet, all right. And then I think Paul Pierce was the guy that kind of gave me confidence because I was already like, my heel would be on the 3-point line. I'm shooting jumpers and all bottoms.
Yeah.
Paul was like, bruh, step back a little bit. Like, that's the 3. Shoot the 3. And sure enough, coach gave me neon green light to shoot that thing. It probably was bad for me to be able to have that much
But that's all they wanted at that point was stretch. That's
exactly.
Stretch 4 was a thing.
Yeah, and then people don't understand. I was able to switch 1 through 4, so I was able to contain a point guard long enough to contest the shot and then go back and rebound the ball. So that's one thing is, you can shoot the ball, but can you guard?
Yeah.
When you have to switch 1 through 4, 1 through 5, these small guys,
Compare those two. I never thought about that. I completely. John Wall and Derrick Rose.
Ooh.
I know you're a big John Wall guy. I know you and John Wall are close.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Pudini. I'm close with Pudini. I mean, shout out D Rose.
Yeah, I don't need you to pick one.
Yeah.
Just
I'm comparing because it's almost similar careers, and then John is at that age right now where he's dealing with injury.
Yeah.
And I don't know the difference in age. They might be probably about 3 years difference in age, maybe 4 years.
I feel like Derrick Rose's career definitely got derailed earlier than John Wall's did.
But I think John is at that point right now because John is still 27, 28 years old and dealing with this injury. And I want to say like Pooh, I think, dealt with the injury a little younger than John did. But special, both of them special talents. I see why Calipari wanted both of those guys. And when I compare, I mean, John is
quicker, faster.
I say north to south, faster. But when it comes to that east to west, jump stop, getting the key finish, Pudini had that shit, man. Like, he had that. He was one of the best. When he slapped the backboard, it was a loose scramble on the ground. I never forget, we were in Houston. It was a loose ball on the ground. And it was like Yao Ming is in the mix, everybody trying to get it. And Derrick Rose came up with the ball off vert, like in one of them areas like where you kind of behind the backboard, and you know your shit about to get beat up.
Yeah.
He went up and slapped the backboard and laid it in on Yao Ming. And Yao Ming kind of bopped up like this, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, what the fuck was that? Like, I've never seen, like that shit's supposed to get beat up like 3 times. And I was like, he's the best finisher I've ever seen. And he was. If you think about finishing with that jelly before Kyrie was doing it, it was Derrick Rose.
We can go all the way back because we were in school at the same time and agree. People always say who's the best person I saw in my 4 years of college. Jason Williams.
Yes, like, Jason Williams, spot on, bomb. And he was my class. Like,
I don't think people people see him on TV and they just think that he's like the announcer guy.
No,
like he's not the announcer guy.
Bro, listen.
See what you said about Juan. Like Juan was great, right? Juan was that dude. When we played them twice, matter of fact, we used to, at the end of the time, we were playing them 4 times a year because we were playing them twice, ACC tournament, and then we played them back-to-back years. We were playing them in the tournament because we always. Juan could not do nothing with Jason Williams. Like we had Maryland as a whole. Jason Williams did whatever he wanted to, anytime he wanted to.
Bro, listen, it was my sophomore year in the tournament, and we were watching that whole Final Four, that championship run by Duke. And I remember we had a team brunch, dinner, whatever. We could watch the games while they're going on during the tournament time. And we watching Duke play against somebody I can't remember. And he was killing to where I started calling him not Jay Will. I started calling him Jay God. And I said it on accident because I was like, I want to say, oh my God, Jay Williams. And then I all got tangled up where I was like, Jay God. Like, I was like.
He was that good.
And we both got NABC co-players of the year, and I still thought he was the best player in college basketball. I had the better season, but from what he did the year before that into his junior year, so they just gave him slack for missing those free throws and couldn't get past going to the Final Four. But he was the best player, man. He was the best. He was special. Guys like that don't stay to their junior year.
No, they don't.
No, he should have left his freshman year.
And they won a national championship already. He was already a player of the year. He was already a national championship.
And he was on pace. He already graduated.
And he already graduated.
And he was on pace to be the all-time Duke leading scorer. I mean, he averaged 15, 16 his freshman year, 20, 23. If you come back for his senior year, he'd probably been the best Duke player of all time.
Like, Steph Curry is made famous now from pulling from Jason Williams, because it didn't used to be like that. People don't realize it used to be like you would shoot at the 3-point line, maybe 2 or 3 feet behind. Jay Wills and Dunleavy, they were pulling from way behind the line, and he had cross everything, whatever you want, finish, dime, shoot, everything,
dunk, bounce,
all of that.
One leg,
yes,
2-leg lean.
Yes, yeah, he had all of that. He like whatever Derrick Rose was doing, he was doing that. He was the college version of that.
I think what hurt Jay Will, besides the motorcycle accident, was getting drafted to Chicago and the coaching staff that he had once he got there, and the veterans he had on his team when he got there. I don't think it was the right environment. Leaving the Duke, leaving St. Elizabeth. He went to St. Elizabeth,
yep,
right?
In Jersey.
Liz in Jersey. Leaving those type of programs and then going to the NBA to Chicago. At that time, the Bulls weren't the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? And Bill Cartwright was the coach. He had issues talking at the time. There's something wrong with his voice. I don't think he had the right guidance and the right people around him. And then when the accident happened, it's funny, it's crazy how stuff comes full circle. And the Bulls draft Kurt Heinrich. And so while he's doing his rehab with the Bulls, Kurt Heinrich is flourishing in his spot.
Mm-hmm.
And me, Kurt, him, and Steve Blake, we all played on the USA basketball team that went to Brazil a couple years before that. And it was funny how Kurt Heinrich now, after Jay Will, we just seen all that greatness in Duke, and we just seen all of that. How my starting point guard, which we always had that debate, who's better, Luke Ridnour, Steve Blake, or Kurt Heinrich, you know what I'm saying, is now potentially an all-star at this position. And Kurt goes onto the USA team and plays on the USA team, and has an unbelievable career in Chicago, and is one of the fan favorites and might get his jersey retired.
That's crazy. When you look back on your 14-year NBA career, what's going to be the thing that you're like most proud
of? Sticking with it and finishing my career out as a Wizard. That whole story of signing that 10-day deal, and it was a testament of who I was. I got to finish my story in the league. I got to have closure. Because if I would have not signed that 10-day, I would have been sick. I'd probably be so bitter right now. Like,
got to write your own ending.
I got to write my own ending, and my transition has been that much better. Like I said, how things go full circle. Sitting here talking to a Terp, but happy,
right.
And you my guy, and even those guys, and having this whole DMV area kind of adopt me.
Mm-hmm.
Being a fan favorite, being able to walk on these streets and everybody showing me love, transitioning into this. My wife is from Rockville, Maryland.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's funny how all these moving parts kind of come together where it's like my second home now, and then now transitioning to NBC Sports Washington, calling the Wizards games, still always having an opportunity to coach if I need to for the Wizards, and being part of this organization and the Leonsis family. So it's like the transition was storybook in, and I could not have pictured this, painted it, or even thought of it myself, and I think that was my greatest memory, and I think that was the most important stepping stone for me to transition.
So what was it like then after playing basketball, NBA, you retire, you get that call about the Big Three?
First I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like,
Was this, when you're thinking that, is that after you'd already seen the first season?
I already watched it. So I was contemplating on playing the first year, but I'm kind of like I'm one of those guys like,
let me see it first.
And I had a hip injury, and I remember when Catino called me, a couple other guys called me to play, and Roger Mason was very adamant of getting me to play, and I had a hip injury, and I don't know what the fuck it was from, but I had something going on with my hip, and I couldn't. By the time it was to get ready to work out and all this other stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to injure myself. I'm not in shape.
Right.
It's my first year out, and I was working with the NBA league offices at the time, so I was an employee of the NBA league offices. So I didn't know if that was going to interfere with the Big Three. If I could get Adam Silver or Mark Tatum to even sign off on me, even playing, because if I get hurt, I can't work. Is that a conflict of interest? So I had that going too, and plus I wanted to see the league. Mm-hmm. And when I saw the league, I became a fan. I saw the first game. I was like, yo, they really playing, and these are all my guys, my guys. Everybody's all my boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a fan. I was looking forward to those Tuesdays to watch. I know back then the Big Three, the first season, they play on Sunday, but it would take
air on Monday.
Right. And I would have to watch it a day or two later.
Yeah.
And I became a fan. I was following the league, and I remember when I signed up to finally do it, like I was like, I'm gonna try this. I remember how y'all used to talk and be like, oh, he was killing last year. He was killing. I was like, I know. I was watching. Y'all was the only thing I was watching.
Right.
I was watching, and I was like, I'm gonna be part of this. And it wasn't until I committed, went through the draft process with Select. I was a co-captain, And it wasn't until the first week in Houston when we got in town, saw how they took care of us, the hotel, accommodations. It was all first class, man, and it was business-like. It was organized, and
you thought it was gonna be a little janky.
I thought it was gonna be janky. I thought it was gonna be really janky. And you know what's crazy? All these guys are coming in this year. This class is coming in. These rookies, they gonna think it's janky too. Right. I mean, I'm seeing the comments by Gil right now. Like, is this a co-league, a co-ed league? And you know. And then Stack Jack going back at him. Oh, y'all think it's sweet, huh?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Because you really think it's going to be a cakewalk like I did, but it's not. Guys are actually competing. And it's an allocation now of guys. You got guys that are still actively playing, free agents. You got international guys now. Mm-hmm. Then you got guys like me are fully retired. Right. So, like, being a fully retired dude, you can catch a fade from a guy that's a free agent. Right, you know what absolutely. I'm saying? So I like that, and that's why I always laugh when I tell y'all, man, if I ain't got the shot, I'm gonna go DHO, and I'm tell Michael Cooper sub my ass out.
Because that's the thing is, right, is that you got guys like yourself who do a 14-year league thing, and a lot of these guys think that, and then you sprinkle in a David Hawkins and an Andre Emmett, and it's like,
okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, what's looking for?
And then now you drop the age limit to 27. So at first it was 30, now it's 27. So you might have a guy that might not have a shot or tired of playing the G League at that 27, 28 threshold where he can't play in the G League no more. And if he goes overseas, he's going to have to go over there for 10 months to make $200,000. Right. Where this is 10 weeks, 11 weeks to make $100,000. Right. So you're going to have that demographic of player coming in the league now. So it's going to be well allocated this year.
So what are you looking forward to? What that last game?
Well, we talked about me always getting to the championship, always being a starter in the championship. So I lost my high school state championship to Deshaun Stevenson and Washington Union out of Fresno, California. And then my college year, I lost to Maryland in the Final Four, which I thought that was the championship game. Mm-hmm. And then my third,
I did too. Once Indiana knocked off Duke, I thought that too. I was like, because Duke was the reigning champion, and then Indiana was like a
10th seed or something.
They knocked them off. I was like, bet. I was like,
exactly.
And Jared Jeffries and a bunch of guys in the I was like, yeah, definitely. I agree with you.
Yeah.
The winner of our game was
the chip. That was the chip. That was a champ. That was a chip. So I lost that chip. And then the next one was in the finals, getting swept to San Antonio. Then the following one was last year in the Big Three championship. And I was like, this is my time to get this monkey off my back. And if you remember how we started off the game, we started off with energy. We had a crack, and they took a couple baskets from us. But, like, I hit my first couple shots. I was like, okay, I ain't weak tonight. You know, I'm in the game. I want it. I wanted it. Retired or not. Like, I wanted that to win that game. But I think the difference between our team and their team last year is that Team Power did everything right. You know, when I say everything right, you know, the basketball guys I believe in. And the basketball guys always reward the team and the players that do it the right way, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like we were talented. We got hot at the right time as Three's Company. We blew teams out. I mean, like, we were blowing teams out to get there. It was a cakewalk for us to get there. Like, we were just that type of team. Like, we were hot at the right time. But we didn't have shoot-arounds. We didn't watch film. You know, we had 3 coaches. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we were all over the place, but we still got there. You know what I mean? And when you look at Team Power, they had one coach and one voice. They had shoot-arounds, breakfast meetings, playbooks.
Coach
Lieberman did everything the right way. Corey Maggette, coming off an Achilles injury. All right? You think it was crazy. What are you doing coming back and even playing in this league? Does all that work to come back, all that work, brings his trainer on the road. Not only is that trainer getting Corey and keeping him healthy, she's also the trainer for the team. So they had medical staff.
Yeah. They were everything.
Bro, when I went to the chapel on game days, when I went to our service on game days, the Big Three, they do a chapel every morning before the game. I was in there. Dante Jones from our team was in there. Their whole team was in there. You see what I'm saying? Like, not only are they doing all the basketball stuff right, they religious too.
Right. No, they.
And I just feel like the makeup of their team, and they look like they always have fun, and they never argue with each other. You know, it's just like that was the perfect team to win. And when you watch that championship, you see how when shit hit the fan, you see how it separated from the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I mean? And I think that's why we lost. But don't get me wrong, it was a hell of a ride. I was rode for all my teammates, and I'm ready to ride again this year to get back to that. But going with that being said, we're going to have to do the stuff the right way. And I learned from that first year being a rookie that that's how you win in this league.
Being a part of it and being there for the whole ride, and when you get back and you talk to the people on the outside, the biggest misconception to me is that people think that it's like some sort of rock and jock celebrity basketball game, that it's just some fun league. And I'm like, no, them dudes really care.
Yeah.
Like, big time really care. Like you said, people don't realize, like, Corey Maggette, like you said, he doing all of that. He's not doing that for no celebrity basketball
game. No, you're not.
You know what I mean? And those dudes are ready
and
to
he
fight.
Got MVP.
Like, absolutely. And so it's like the league, those guys are out there giving it their all. And it's a very passionate and it's a real league. And I'm looking forward to this next upcoming season as well.
Me too. But, hey, we was glad to have you a part of it too, because you was a big part of kind of keeping us together. And like I said, we had a successful season. But I think we just need to clean some stuff up going forward.
I can't wait. That's all I can definitely say. Man, your basketball has been good to you, brother.
Yes, it has.
Basketball has been good to you. And you know what? I never even put together that all of those people that obviously you played in that era, so you got to play against these people, but you played with teammates.
I started against Michael Jordan. I guarded Michael Jordan in the game my rookie year. I started small forward. Me and MJ guarded each other twice.
Wizards Mike MJ.
So y'all don't like that MJ, huh?
No,
y'all don't like that MJ.
I just want to make sure. No, because I was just putting my years together. I'm like, hold on, wait. And I'm like, okay, what was that like playing Mike the first time? I always ask everybody that. Was that like the first time you played Mike?
I was in I. He gave me 19 in the first. The first time I played him was in Memphis, and they went to me for like, this is the last possession. This is how I knew I wasn't the guy that had a ball in my hands to get you either a tying basket or the game-winning go-ahead basket. I had MJ, and I just hit, I think, was Byron Russell on the team at the time with the Wizards?
Yeah.
Okay, I just hit him with an in-and-out, behind-the-back, pull-up jumper and made it. So I always heard these stories about Michael Jordan watching from the sideline of how dudes, like, type of moves they made, and then when he got inserted in the game, he was able to to dictate and get a scouting report on you that quick defensively. So I remember now I got MJ 5, 4. I did the same in and out move, went behind the back. As soon as I went behind the back, cookies, poked it up, laid it up on the other side. Probably a little bit more time on the clock, but it was game. They win. I was like, damn, that was my first quick little action against MJ. I was whack. He stripped me easy. It was on ESPN. Right. Michael Jordan strips Drew Gooden. Thinking for game. You know what I mean? Then the next time I was the Orlando Magic and played against MJ. No, actually I still was with Memphis Grizzlies. I was with Memphis Grizzlies and we played against MJ. And I started again on him. He had 19 in the first quarter. He went to the free throw line and he said, "Damn, Rook, at this pace, I'm going for 55 tonight." That's how grimy MJ was. He'll talk to you.
Say? You don't even say nothing. You don't even look up.
I was just like, damn, he got 19. He's 41. He got 41, got 19. He finished with 23, ran out of gas. I had like 21. But all I could do was take him in the paint, throw him jump hooks on him and stuff.
You say anything to him after the game?
Nah, I didn't say anything. I don't remember saying anything after the game. I just remember him calling me a rook.
Yeah.
And saying at this pace, I'm going to have 55.
That's funny that you say that because DJ had a similar story. He said that he hit Rip with a move and, and he scored and easy. And then he's like, he tried the same move. And Mike's like, what I look like, Rip? And he's like, see, I'm not crazy, bro. He was like, that might work on Rip. That's not going to work on me. And DJ's thinking, he's like, I don't even think that he even know who I am, let alone like, bro, that you were watching what I did.
I just did the math. He was 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
So just imagine that. Like you 3 steps ahead of that kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you MJ.
Yeah. You played with you played against the greatest of all time. You've played
Karl
against
Malone, John Stockton. I guarded that pick and roll. Like I was in them cross picks. John Stockton sending them illegal ass picks, and then big ass Malone open up them shoulders and putting me in the basket.
So let me ask you this then. So you grew up That's what I knew a power forward to be. Was Karl Malone.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley.
And that's why they motherfuckers put me at the 3.
When you came in this game as a power forward, I remember you was a power. I remember Chris. That's what I thought a power forward was supposed to look like. Now, when you see the power forwards is averaging 6 to 7 3-pointers a game, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, the other night Wayne Selden Jr. started at power forward for the Bulls, so it's like it's positionless basketball. And what was a knock on guys like me that they used to call tweeners? Yeah. Those are really like the most valuable players on the team right now. A guy that could do everything. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at the court right now, it is going to be one center that could block shots and rebound at a high rate. And if they're not doing that, what else are they doing? They're shooting threes and rebounding at least protecting the rim a little bit. Other than that, there's 4 guys that got cannons around them. And it's up and down pace. I mean, the scoring is up, the highest it's ever been. And, I think part of that has to do with the shot clock getting reset to like 14 now after offensive rebound, which speeds the game up. And what Golden State has done, what Houston Rockets have done to the game, I think more teams are starting to realize there are such things as bad shots, even if you make them.
Let me ask you this then. As a powerful, do you think that the league as a whole is a copycat league? So Golden State came out and there's like, oh, we got to be Golden State. And this is just my thinking. Like, that's a fact that it's a copycat league. And Steph and Clay, those aren't just like 2 good shooters. Those are like the 2 best shooters that ever lived. And you know what I mean?
On
like,
the same team.
On the same team, right. So isn't it a part of you that's like, why do we abandon the 2 big men? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, isn't there a part of you that wants to see, like, what would happen if, like, the mythological game that we have with, like, if Shaq played against this Golden State team? Like, we have guys like DeMarcus Cousins and big men. Like, do you think that the NBA as a whole just gave up on the big man too fast?
Well, I'm going to blame the big men for that reason, because you got to, whatever's trending, just like in any other business, you have to stay with what's trending. If you're a doctor, you can't be using the same theories and studies operating on patients from 85 and 93 when there's new trending ways to handle medical situations, so as a doctor you got to be up to point, as lawyers, as CPAs, new tax laws, you got to be up to point in all these professions. Just like with basketball, it trends of what's hot and what's winning and what's now you put that with the data and the proof. Mm-hmm. And this is where the game is going. So I'm gonna blame the bigs. If you're not working on your game, if you can't slide your puppies and guard a smaller guy, if you can't guard him better than he can guard you, you're not going to play in this league. And that's basically what it is. You are who you can guard. Now, I'm not opposed to playing 2 bigs, but I just know that one of my bigs probably going to have to switch out on Steph and contain him. You know what I mean? And have that ability to do that. Right. Then I could play big. I could play big so I know we can rebound. And I need y'all to be able to at least shoot some jumpers to spread this floor.
Okay. Let you out here on this last question. Your Drew Gooden's top 5
all time.
Mm-hmm. No order.
No order. Team Olajuwon.
Love it.
Okay. And it's like I don't want to just take away from all the greats and shit, but like LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Do I need another big in there? Or I could go 2 more.
You can go 2 more. Whatever you. It's your court.
Just from a kid, when I was a kid who I looked up to, one of my guys, Grant Hill.
Yeah, and you when you were in Orlando?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I
played with him. He was hurt, but that was my guy. Mm-hmm. And he took me under his wing, just from the professionalism and set an example for me. So that he's kind of like that irony pick that you might not put in the top 5 all time, but for me, an example he set for especially kids in the hood, like you can't play basketball and play the piano, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You can't go to Duke and go, be well spoken. You know what I mean? So as example, Grant Hill, and still to this day, what he's doing. And I say that my last but not least, Magic Johnson.
That's great. That's great. Oh, you know what? I promised that was the last question, but I want to double back on the story that you said. Coming full circle, we're collecting Griffey's car.
Yeah.
To Griffey being your neighbor.
Yeah.
What's that like the first time you, like, I'm buying a house next to Ken Griffey or buy Ken Griffey?
It's actually the other way around. He ended up coming to my
neighborhood. Okay. So then when he buys a house, are you like, hey, I just want to welcome you to the neighborhood?
Nah. Well, it's like where we live, there's a lot of new developments, and he moved out of Islesworth. I believe that's where he lived first, and he built a home in this new area where I'm at, sick home. And I got a chance to meet him in Orlando. it was like one of those things over the last 10 years when I go to the grocery store, they go, hey, you missed Ken Griffey. He was just here. Or I go to Walgreens. Oh, Griff was just in here. Or my boy, hey, I just saw Ken Griffey. I was like, why the fuck? Why can I ever see him, right? And I finally got a chance to meet him. We kicked it. He knew me. You know, he knew all about me. You know what I'm saying? Said he was a fan. And we exchanged numbers and got to kick it, dog. Saw him in Napa a couple times and became homies. And he's a real cool dude. Like, he's everything I always expected him to be as a kid. And we all had the game Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball, you know. And that was a guy. All the Griffies, I love that. That's one of my favorite Nike shoes of all time, the Griffs. And just being able to see these guys and being around them now, it's crazy. And it's crazy. It started from collecting baseball cards, and I got to meet all these guys.
And then now that you have, like, you go from being a card collector to, like, there actually are cards of you.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's crazy,
and
right?
And that still hasn't hit me until I go back and I look at it. And when my son, he sees them. When my son sees the cards, he's like, look, Dad, this is so cool. And I'm like, I guess it is cool. Yeah, that your dad is on the NBA basketball card with all these other guys and LeBron James. And I guess it is cool, but you live so much in it and it becomes your life where you kind of forget about it.
Yeah, and then now you look at your son, and it's like...
It reminds me.
Yeah, and that's awesome, man. But like I said, basketball has been great to you, and you just been... had a great career. Basketball has been good to you, but you've always been the first class, and that's the one thing that always stood about to me. I remember you from Kansas, obviously, really well, and then followed your NBA career because of that, because of everybody along that run that we came across. Weird, I just became fans of. I became fans of Jared Jeffries, Caron Butler, Tayshaun Prince. Yeah. I don't know if people even remember that. We went against Tayshaun Prince, then we went and then we went against Caron Butler, then Jared Jeffries, which is like that was a great little stretch of players right there.
Great dudes. All my homeboys, we all keep in contact, and all business-minded dudes. You know, like we all have outside businesses, invest in certain things, work either for league offices, Turner Sports, NBA league office. NBA teams like Jared Jeffries has. So that's and Tayshaun Prince, who's the assistant GM down in Memphis.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Exactly. So all those guys you name, is funny, are very business orientated guys.
And then to watch you as your career went along, and then to meet you and just to see how polished and just a great down to earth person you were. And I mean, we pretty much just
clicked right off the bat. Yeah, even though you had all that Maryland shit on.
Probably like, who's this kid with all this Maryland stuff? But you've been awesome. And then one of the things that was just most impressive about me is that whereas like your business mind, like you said, and that's whereas though you're not in the top 10 earners of the people that I would know, but you're in the top 10 who got the money now.
Yeah,
and that's awesome in terms of like that's great to see. Like you don't have that. To see somebody who does have their money left and a lot of it left and because you've done other things. And I remember one day, you probably don't even remember this, you just handed me a business card that said was it Buffalo Wild Wings? Wingstop. And it's like, yo, I own I love that. Yeah. I love that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like
we talked about real estate and flipping homes and
all of that. So it's like that's awesome to hear, and that an athlete who's not broke and an athlete who's done very well from in the second act, and because you don't have to have made NBA max to they give you enough money.
And I'm figuring it out now. I had to actually see that, but yes, you're right. You do not have to have a max contract to have max money.
Right, and you've made the most of it, and just an awesome dude, and somebody that I'm definitely proud to call a friend and look up to and all of that, and it would have never thought that we got to this back in 2001.
Bro, you know how I know I ride with you? Because I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, well, thank you very much for joining us this week, Drew. I appreciate it. And everybody, again, thank you all for tuning in for this week, and we will be back again later. Peace.